大家好，我是 John。今天我来跟大家讲一下雅思口语里面的发音。发音是雅思口语4个考核点的第4项。因为我们讲发音嘛，所以这堂我会主要用英文来讲述。So first of all, let's take a look at the marking scheme. If you want to attain level 9, you have to have a full range of pronunciation features with precision. You have to sustain it throughout, and you have to be effortless to understand. And they're all native English speakers, so that means you need the native accent. So your goal would be to achieve level 8 or level 8.5, where at level 8, you're easy to understand throughout, your accent has minimal effect on intelligibility. And level 6, your mispronunciation of individual words or sounds reduces clarity at times, but you can generally be understood throughout. So, for pronunciation, if you want to get a high score here, you have to first take a look at pronunciation features, and second, your accent and your pronunciation of certain words. So in the coming 6, 7, 8 minutes, we'll be talking about first the pronunciation features, secondly, the mispronounced sounds, and thirdly, some tips for improving your pronunciation. Let's not waste any time and start off with the pronunciation features. The most important part is word stress. Word stress is stressing on the parts of words to make sure the word stands out. Usually it's more obvious in words that have more than one sound. Say incredible, it has 4 sounds. So word stress in the word incredible could start like incredible, or incredible, or incredible, or incredible. So you see, in the example above, I stressed the different parts of this word incredible. But not every type of stressing actually works that well. So you have to find where the stress is, and the stress word for incredible would be here, incredible. Let's take another example and understand why this is so important. Say the word present or present. So by stressing different parts of the same word, you actually have 2 different words and 2 different meanings. So if you don't stress at the right time or the right part of the word, then perhaps you would mispronounce and it would affect your clarity. It will affect your score, and I'm sure that you don't want that to happen. So let's combine the 2 words we just learned into a sentence. It's an incredible present. So the idea is, if you know where to stress the words, your sentence will sound way better than it did before. Now, the second part of pronunciation features would be sentence stress, which is like when we're talking about stressing the words, we thought of which part of the word to stress. But when we're talking about sentence stressing, we're looking at which word of the sentence to stress. Say, let's take this example. If I were you, I'd skip class. So I didn't stress any word just now. But then, which word would it be if you want to stress and make it sound better? Where is the important word in this sentence? These are the things you will want to think about. So, a better way of saying it is, if I were you, I'd skip class. So here, I stress the word you because it's the most important word in the sentence, because you is the subject of the whole sentence. And when I did so, it allowed the message to be delivered in a better way. When I say, if I were you, I'd skip class. But if I were you, I'd skip class. That's a whole different way of delivering the same message. Now, thirdly, another part of pronunciation features will be intonation, and that is not to speak in the same tone. When you speak in the same tone, it gets boring and people start to fall asleep. But then if you have highs and lows, louder sounds and softer sounds, then you can make sure the listener doesn't fall asleep and pays attention to what you're saying. The fourth feature would be pace. And pace would mean that you don't speak too fast or too slowly. You don't speak in chunks, because if you have too much pauses between the sentences, The exam proctor or the exam invigilator or the 考官 might think that you have memorized your answers, or he or she might think that you can't find the right words to express yourselves. So when you pace yourselves, make sure you have also have pauses, because when you pause, it means that something important is coming out and it's catching the attention of your invigilator. So these are the 4 pronunciation features, and let's move on to the commonly mispronounced words. This, that, mother, father. Usually we hear this, that, mother, father. What you have to pay attention is the th sound, the. You put your tongue underneath your 2 front teeth, 也就是你的舌头要伸出来，在你的门牙下面 the， 而不是 d 的那个音，是 the. So let's pronounce it again. This, that, mother, father. Okay, so another mispronounced words would be escape. It's escape. So it's commonly mispronounced even for native speakers. So you want to remember it's ESS, escape, instead of escape, escape, escape. So a commonly mispronounced word would be espresso. You don't want to say espresso, but espresso. So these are the 2 most commonly mispronounced words, and I'm sure that if you pay attention to the th sound and the yes sound, you would impress your invigilator. Now let's move on to some tips. First of all, about stressing. Understand the meaning of the word and understand the meaning of the sentence so you know where to stress. Find out what's the most important part of the sentence. Don't rush, don't panic, because if you do so, you might skip sounds or words, and again, it goes back to the marking scheme where it affects your clarity. To improve, you want to listen to BBC Radio or like the Chinese CGTN, which is 中央电视台英语频道. Then to improve on your own pronunciation, you might want to record yourself and listen to your own recordings and hear what went wrong. Then you practice and improve from where you went wrong. So we talked about word stress, we talked about sentence stress, we talked about intonation, pace, the th sound, and the es sound. Finally, when the exam is over, you would want to say goodbye to your invigilator. Ways of saying goodbye would be like, have a nice day, have a good day. The function of doing so, like the way of doing so is to say have a nice or have a good something. And it could be have a nice evening, have a nice day, have a nice weekend, and have a nice holiday. Or have a good evening, have a good weekend, have a good holiday. So to wrap all of this up, have a good week.